Our story opens in Arkham, Massachusetts, at the police station where we see two detectives, Detective Rick Lohman and Detective Gerard Mansour, filing reports, as they often do every week at the office. And then their door to the sergeant's office opens up, and he says, "You two, get in here."
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, there's been a bunch of, people going missing up in Albany, New York, and they're short on officers to keep the peace in Albany. So I'm sending you twos up there to help out, mainly because I don't believe that cock and bull story that you guys told me a couple of months ago, but also the crime here in Arkham has been rather low lately. So why don't you two hop in a car and head up there to Albany?
All right. I guess the paperwork can wait till we get back.
Yeah. Nobody needs to do paperwork anymore. So you guys hop in your car. And why don't you guys real quick, Detective Rick Lohman, why don't you give me a description of who you are, what you look like?
Yeah. There's not any description on this page at all.
Nope. And you probably don't remember what you described yourself as previously. So
Do not remember. I'm just going based on the picture on the
let's
page.
just say that between volumes, the authors kind of fudged a little bit on their characters. So
we got a different artist on this time.
There you go.
Yeah. Man of average height, usually wearing average height and build, brownish hair, handlebar mustache, in typical street clothes of the time, with a couple of Walther pistols at his side.
Okay. All right. And Rick Lohman is driving the car. Gerard Mansour, what do you look like riding in the passenger seat?
I say he's a older gentleman. Probably one that was fairly brawny in his youth, but has definitely kind of gone a little pudgy as the years gone on. Face is getting lined, hair getting gray, but largely still has the hair that he keeps cut short and a crew cut. Got a little thin pencil mustache, tired eyes, darker, kind of like well-tanned fella.
Okay. Let's see, Rob, why don't you give me I want to have you guys, maybe now is not the time to do it, but I want you guys to be able to tell me things that you're doing that you can use to generate momentum, because I think you're going to need it in this adventure. So if there's any skills or anything that you guys, just as we're going through the story, if they're like, hey, I think I would like to use this, and please make a pitch for it, and let's see if we can get you guys some momentum. So it takes you guys a better part of a day to arrive in Albany, and when you show up to the police station, it's pretty dead because there's apparently a lot of people are missing. Like the chief of police is missing, a couple of lieutenants are missing. This place is really sparse, and the people that are here seem generally stressed.
So I'll probably go over to whoever's up at the front desk.
Yeah, can I help you?
Yeah, we were dispatched to Arkham to help with some disappearances that are going on.
Oh, yeah, but we are just so short-staffed after the sheriff and a bunch of the other deputies disappeared Christmas Eve. It was the dangest thing, but thank goodness Arkham sent people up here to help us out. Yeah, go check in with the acting chief of police. And he goes back to typing and answering phones and smoking cigarettes like they're going out of style.
All right, I'll head on in the back and see who looks like they're acting like they're in charge.
There's a heavy-set, angry man sitting behind the chief of police desks. His collar is opened and loose, and his necktie is undone. He's an aging, balding man with his hair slicked back, and he has got like constant sheen of sweat on his face. And as you guys enter, he's like, "Yeah, what do you guys want?"
We're here from Arkham. Supposed to be looking.
Oh, you're the relief, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Thank you for coming up here in such short notice. We've been just shorthanded these last couple of months. It's just been insane. Listen, we're gonna have a briefing here in just a few minutes. You guys, I think I'm gonna have you two work the night shift if you don't mind.
All right.
Oh, by the way, I'm acting chief of police, deputy Doug, Doug.
Nice to meet you, Doug.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Okay. There's some lockers around the corner, and yeah, the meeting starts in the briefing room in just like 5 minutes.
I think we'll just I'll just kind of go mosey to the briefing room and kind of wait. If there's any files conveniently available, maybe start looking those over.
Yeah, you notice posted as outside of the room, you see, for a city of Albany, New York, which is relatively large, there seems to be an inordinate number of missing persons flyers on the wall. So not only are members of the police force missing, but it looks like a lot of people in the community have also gone missing.
Well, I'll start looking them over, see if anything seems to jump out as me as like any sort of commonality between the...
Sure. Why don't you roll something for a skill on this?
Insight, a reason, and observation.
Yeah, sure.
Those you feel.
Yeah, let's do a D1 on this one.
All right. Would you say insight or reason would be more?
Let's do some reasoning.
Reason. All right. Let's try that again. There we are.
Hey, one success.
One success.
All right. Yeah. So you do succeed. And as you're looking at these, the thing that you notice is these appear to be people between the ages of 18 and 30, mostly. From the descriptions that you see, there are a few older people here and there, but for the most part, it's mostly men. But there are some women that are also missing as well. But they are all between the ages of what I said, 18 and 30, and they are from all over the city. The other thing that you may notice, if you would like to roll what'd you do, a reason plus observation? If you do an insight plus observation, D1, you might gather some more information.
All right. Go with some insight here. Ooh.
Hey, 3 successes. Very good.
Successes, yeah.
2 momentum. You also notice that one of the things that you see is that these people all worked in the greater downtown area of Albany. Not out in the suburbs. I mean, some of them live in the suburbs. Some of them live in apartments surrounding the central core, but almost all of them work in the core central part of Albany.
I see.
Okay. So the available police officers start shuffling into the briefing room. Yeah, Rick, what are you going to do?
Stuff before.
Yeah.
I was gonna wander around the police station to see if there's anything like out of the ordinary. So he went to go look at like the specific sheets. I'm just like turning on my instincts and like, is there something in the station now? Anything in the station that actually like feels off? Because why would there be this much of a problem in a station?
Yeah. So, the chief had pointed you to where the acting chief had pointed you where the locker rooms were. Go in there and roll me one of your skills.
I would like to try and do observation and insight with
do it.
Instincts focus, because
do it.
This gives me ridiculous.
I'm going to make this a D2 because you're a stranger in a strange land. But you also have a success you got a 4. What is it? A 5?
I've got a 17.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is going to be a D2
with a focus and instincts.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, 2
So that'd be
successes. Very
three
good.
successes.
Oh, 3 successes. My gosh. I may have cranked your guys' stats up way too high.
I,
Um, so you get an extra momentum. Yeah, as you are kind of looking for an empty locker to fill, you can overhear a couple of officers talking in the row over on the other side of your locker. And you can hear one of them is like, "Yeah, I won't even let my wife go out after dark anymore. It's just too creepy. I can't have something happening to her. Who's going to take care of the kids for God's sake?" And the other one's like, "Yeah, yeah, at least the chief and the deputies families got out okay. The community support poured in for them. They had so much wealth and money come into them that they were able to leave town right away. I tell you, I wish that our union would get some more money for us hardworking guys on the street, if you know what I mean. Oh, hey, we need to get to the briefing room." And they come around the corner. "Hey, who are you?"
woman just came in from Arkham.
"Oh, you're one of the relief cops, huh?
Yep.
You ever been to Albany? Do you even know this city? I don't know why the acting chief is bringing in outsiders. We got plenty of fine men right here in this city."
As we leave the locker room, I'm just going to gesture to the wall of missing posters.
"Yeah, yeah." And they just kind of disgruntledly walk in. They don't like people infringing on their turf. "All right, quiet down, you guys, quiet down, sit down. Hey, look, we've got 2 guys all the way from Arkham, Massachusetts, coming in to lend a hand. If you guys would welcome Detective Rick Lohman and Detective Mansour. They're going to be working one of the night shifts." And you kind of hear both a sigh of relief and some chuckling going on around the room. "All right, that's enough. That's enough. Listen, uh, 10 more missing persons reported today. This is getting out of hand, and we are way short on getting people out there poking around in the places wherever these people could have gotten away to. So I want everybody who's working the night shift, and that includes you 2 detectives, keep your eyes open and be listening for any kind of weirdness that's going on in downtown. There was a break-in over at John's pawn shop on West 57th. Charles Duke, you're going to go and take care of that investigation." "Yes, sir." The warehouse district has been mighty empty of the homeless lately, so we don't have to worry about any of them bums." And you hear a bunch of laughter going on among the detectives. "All right, cut it out. We can take some of the patrols off of that area and we can move them over into the downtown. I want you guys doing a walk and beat. Detectives, if you've got a car, feel free to drive around, but use guys over there." And he points to 2 plainclothes police, or not plainclothes, but regular police officers who have their hats tilted back and they're leaning back in their chairs and are acting like they're hot stuff. He makes sure that they know that they're going to be walking a street beat. Finally, oh boy, you guys are really going to like this one. We've got more reports of that masked vigilante running around town again. They say he looks like I don't know, what is this, a fox or something? I don't know. This is nonsense. But so if anybody sees a vigilante beating up on criminals, bring it in. And everybody just kind of laughs and blah, blah, blah. And the chief is like, or the acting chief is like, "All right, that's it. Be careful out there. Dismissed." And you are all dismissed. And now that the evening shift has started, detectives, you can drive around and begin investigating.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably suggest starting off the site of occupation of one of these people. We'll kind of out from
Oh, okay, sure. So you are able to find, you can pull one of the missing persons things from the wall. This person's name is Richard Smith, and Richard Smith was last seen down by the community center on Christmas Eve. Disappeared at the same time that the community center caught fire, and that's the same time that a lot of people went missing. And so this was months ago, and so this is maybe not the most recent case, but it is one of the missing peoples down by the community center.
Serious fire sounds like good a place as any to start.
Works for me. I'll tell him about the conversation I overheard. Sounds like the upper brass were able to just get out when things got too difficult. Which sounds like upper brass.
Yeah. Well, let's beat the street and see what we can find.
So you guys get into your car, and you, after a few minutes, you've got a map of the city laid out in front of you, Detective Mansour, and you're able to find out kind of where the community center is. And sure enough, it is kind of in a downtowner part of the city. And as you drive around, the buildings are really tall. It's kind of nice out for a spring day, or a spring evening, I should say. And so you can drive around with your windows down if you like, and take in some of the fresh breeze of beautiful Albany, New York. It smells a lot different here, maybe a lot cleaner here than stinky old Arkham, but there you are. You see, as you are driving down the street, you do see a woman just kind of walking down the street. She looks to be coming home from work, or a movie or something, and she's just walking down unaccompanied as you two pass in your car. You pass her in your car. Right about the time that you pass her, you're barely half a block down, and you hear a scream from behind you. And it looks like, if you look in your rearview mirror, it looks like the woman is fighting off somebody near an alley.
Quick.
Yep, flip around and head back.
Sure, you whip around and you drive down the street very quickly, pulling up into the alley where this woman is being dragged down into the alley. And you can hear her screaming at the top of her voice, "Help me! Help me! Oh, God, help me!" Meanwhile, not too far away, on top of a tall rooftop, a lone figure stands in the moonlight. And that figure hears, "Help me! Help me! Oh, God, please help me!" Rodrigo, who is standing there on top of the building? And does he have a monologue?
Something like that. So on top of the building is a masked vigilante. He is pretty young, and although he's in really good shape, he's like a little on the skinny side.
Mm-hmm.
It does help though that he's wearing a thick, like custom leather vest, along with like leather cuffs and a thick mask that probably used to be at some point an old leather football helmet, but has been like properly and thoroughly like reworked to cover like the eyes and nose, so they're just like slits.
Okay.
And also has a pair of little roundy ears also attached to it. Again, properly, right? It doesn't look cheap, although it does look goofy.
Is this like the finest leather that can be bought?
Yeah, this is good, solid leather for what it's supposed to be, which is to take impacts.
Mm-hmm.
With an additional flourish. He has a very thick. He also has like leather pants and boots. He has a very thick utility belt. Some parts of which have cables that connect to other parts. No cape, no hat, or anything like that. But he is standing on top of the building with one leg up on like the lip of the edge of the building. You know what I mean? that like slightly raised part. And yeah, he's kind of talking to himself. It's kind of like, yes, the city smells like danger ever since the portal was opened, and law enforcement is known to be corrupt. And what was that? Oh, a lady's in trouble.
Help me! Please help me!
Yeah, and basically he takes off running, and like the moment that anything like a I guess there wouldn't be like air conditioning units, but anything like an electrical box or anything on top of the building
pipe.
comes up,
Yeah.
he definitely jumps on it and does a flip off of it.
Okay. Give me an athletics and agility D1.
Sure thing. It's probably bad at this.
It's a 12, so it's not horrible.
It's not too bad.
One success. Very good. That's all you needed. And then do you flip and tumble right down into the alley where the action is occurring, or is there something else?
Yeah, if I see it happening, then yeah, the moment I see it, I'm gonna like flip and like grab on to like a fire escape, which will like loosen the ladder that like you could like move up and down and basically slide that down all the way to the bottom.
Very cool. You land next to two surprised detectives.
What?
Careful, civilians, stand back. There's evil afoot. I'll just like sprint past them.
Why do we always get the weirdos?
I'm pretty certain that's why we were sent here.
You run a little bit further down the alley, and you can see the woman. She's being drugged by something. It looks like a man, but its face is kind of sunken in or drawn back. You know, it doesn't look like a healthy person, and its eyes are kind of glowing, and it looks like, I don't know. There's a sense of a decay and a weird smell around this person as you approach, and he's still dragging the woman who's kicking and screaming.
Release her!
Stop, please.
It turns around and looks at you, and the flashlight that you're obviously carrying, the flashlight hits the eyes, and they reflect back, and they're just glowing this glowing amber color. This is something you have never seen before, and you now notice that when the light is shining on it, it's not wearing much, if any, clothes. Its skin is sallow, and its hair is long and greasy, and it hisses at you as it continues to drag the woman towards an open sewer manhole cover.
Stop or we're shooting.
Okay, let's go into some combat. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, run up. Get like right up near him, which is probably not super smart. But more of a thing of like he tries to stop and kind of like slides forward a little too far. But like regains his composure and says, "Release her, fiend, you face the Fisher." And pull out a pretty normal looking gun. It's like a Browning. And take a shot at it.
Okay. We'll do let's do a D1 on this.
Okay. 2 successes.
Very good. You fire at the thing, and as you fire, it drops the woman, and you are able to see if you get any damage on it.
Yeah. So that's gonna be Browning damage +1 for insight. 2 damage.
Okay. The bullet seems to impact the creature, but be absorbed. The woman scrambles away from the claws of this creature, and she scrambles up behind you, and she grabs her arms around you. She goes, "I've heard about you, the Fisher. Thank you for coming to my rescue. You must protect me from this horrible creature." and the horrible creature approaches you and takes a swing at you, the Fisher. And as it gets closer, it kind of it's pretty scary. I mean, you've heard some scary tales told to you recently, but
Mhm.
this one's pretty creepy. Um, this is a hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
So if you would,
And it's taking like a swipe.
yeah, it's taking a swipe at you.
1 success.
Okay, it has 2 successes, so it's going to do 4 damage, but you probably have pretty good armor that soaks up most of that.
Yeah. I'll take 1 damage.
Okay, all right. Police officers, you just seen a man dressed as a bear shoot at this creature who then took a swing at him. The woman that was being dragged by this creature appears to be trusting of this individual.
I'm gonna fire on the creature
Okay.
because it took a shot and didn't flinch.
Yeah.
I will. Where there you go. Use the fists full of lead thing.
Okay. Okay.
And choose to concentrate fire on him.
Okay.
So just
Nice.
make 1 shot, but it's an additional 2 stress inflicted.
Yeah. Nice.
D1
D1.
with the intense effect. What's the intense effect?
Let's see.
Intense means that if you cause an injury, and you roll any effects, you cause an additional injury.
Oh, there you go. That'd be great if you could do that.
Okay. So coordination and fighting is 12 and 3 is 15. Since it's handguns, I get would I be able to aim here or
Oh yeah, sure.
okay. And you said
I'm going to
D1?
be very generous on these characters. Hey, 2 successes. You
successes.
get a momentum. So you're up to 5 momentum now.
Damage on this. Oh, is that +2 then 2 extra dice?
That's what I was going to ask. I'm going to say yes, 2 extra dice
Okay.
because it is a second gun. So, because I think normally it's a 3. So yeah, 5 plus whatever your bonus is. If you have a bonus, I don't think you do.
Insight's the ranged bonus, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I should be a +3.
Yeah, plus.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
You put that at 12.
Yeah, no, I did. That's right. So go for it.
So that's 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 3 is 8. I'll spend the 1 momentum.
Okay.
A 9th die.
Okay.
And blam. 6 plus 2 effect.
Yeah, and the effect is intense. So 1, 2, 3. We'll say 5 damage on that to the creature, and it is writhing in agony, hissing and screeching as it finally goes down and dies. Good job, Detective Lohman. The woman is like, "Oh, that's a horrible creature. Just came out of nowhere and grabbed me and tried to drag me into the darkness. I think it had ill intent in its mind."
Yeah.
Do not worry. You are safe now, citizen.
"Oh, thank you." And she looks around and she's like, can I go? I'm supposed to be meeting a date in about 10 minutes."
Yeah, you should get out of here.
And she goes, she picks up her bag and goes running off into the night.
That was some good shooting, officer.
Thanks. I'm going to subtly point one of the guns at him. And you are?
I am the Fisher. Surely you've heard of me.
I heard something about you.
Yes. Dark Vigilante of Albany.
Takes all kinds, I guess. Any idea what that is?
No. But I do know that things have gotten very strange here ever since the incident.
Bum, bum, bum. And lightning crashes even though it's a clear night and the moon is full.
Yes, that's one of the things that happens now since the incident.
Bum, bum, bum.
What exactly is the incident?
Bum, bum, bum.
A group of American Nazis try to open a portal to another dimension, and they successfully open the portal, although they themselves were consumed by it.
And when did this incident happen?
Around New Year's, I think, right?
No, it was
Or
Christmas,
before
Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, 1939.
Will this correspond to the fire that happened at the community center?
That's right. Now, where did you guys say you were from?
We're from Arkham.
Well, if you're not local cops, then I guess I can trust you.
Okay.
You see, one of the people that tried to open this portal was the sheriff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or the chief of police, whatever. The details are murky, but yes, one of those.
Either you know what I mean. There's really only one law enforcement agency here.
Yes.
How exactly do you know all this?
Fisher has ways of knowing.
I see.
Now that you guys are up close, you can see that also on his. So a couple things. One, on his vest, he has an additional leather patch that is a slightly different color and very much looks like a kind of spiky teddy bear, which is probably supposed to be his symbol. And also, you can tell that he has like at least 2 gun-like things on him, and then like an additional thing strapped to his back.
There is a dead body at your feet.
I poke at it a little.
Yeah, you poke at it, and it's definitely a body that looks to be human, but it looks like it's been dead for a while. Like there's rotten decay on it, and the weirdest thing is, well, give me an observation and insight, D1.
Okay. Vigilante's very bad at this.
All of us, or
Yeah, sure, everybody.
Okay.
oh boy,
2 successes from Rodrigo, 2 successes from Rob. God, I really amped you guys up, didn't
I?
just a bit. It helps that coordination and insight were just default 10s.
Yeah.
Potentially right, so 3 if instincts or sight would apply.
Yeah, you guys are at full momentum right now. Yeah, this is ridiculous. You guys notice as you turn the body over, it's like part of the skull just like falls away. Like if you were to do a cut around the head in a circular fashion, like the top of the skull, like a little cap, just falls off. And there's nothing inside.
Rose. I mean, interesting.
Yeah, that's disturbing. Do we have a radio in the car?
Sure. Let's say yes.
So I assume we should probably call this in.
Is that a good idea, Vigilante?
No, you should not call this in. The cops are in on it.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. I think we should try to figure out where this beast was trying to take that woman and find the nest.
I suppose. This night's going to get even better.
Yes, onward. And he like basically jumps up a little bit, kicks a wall, and then like propels himself forward like slightly. And then like runs over to see if he can find like a manhole cover or something.
Yeah, you can see the manhole cover opening where the creature was going to drag the woman down into.
Aha! Like grab onto it, like.
Oh, it's already open. You don't need to move
Okay.
the cover at all.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good.
I take it strength is not the Fisher's strong point.
So, the Fisher is a another jack of all trades. So he's pretty okay at everything and not very good at any one thing.
Ah, okay. All right. Officers, there's an open manhole cover and the Fisher is standing right there.
I'd say after you.
Yep.
All right. I'll go down the. Is there a ladder?
Yes.
Go down the ladder pretty fast until close to the bottom because he really doesn't want to get sewage like into the leather stuff. That's gonna be awful.
Yeah, there's a lot of sewage down here. That's for sure, and there is a heady smell. Does the Fisher have a flashlight, or is it only the police officers that have the flashlight?
The Fisher probably does have a flashlight, but he couldn't fit a big one in his utility belt, so it's probably like a little hand one as opposed to like a big police flashlight.
Okay, all right. Detectives, do you follow him down?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Let's have Brian, since you didn't get a go in that last round, can you give me an agility and athletics check just to see this ladder could be kind of slimy with all kinds of slimy stuff.
Oh boy.
You have 8 momentum, by the way.
How bad is it?
I'll go ahead and burn. Let's just say 1 of that.
Okay.
Oh, or of course not. Well, 2 successes and a complication.
Oh, 2 successes and a complication. Yeah, you are able to make it down the ladder, but you don't stop as quickly as the Fisher did, and you go shin deep right into the muck, and it's pretty gross and squishy.
Blast.
At least you didn't fall face first.
Yeah. Kind of drag myself up to the ledge.
There's a ledge. There's like a walkway.
Yeah,
there's a walkway there that you can all stand on. And as you turn on your flashlights and swing them around, could you all give me an observation and insight check again, please?
All righty.
If you have detective skills of some kind, I think one of you has some skill in observation or something. Yeah.
Detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1 to a minimum of 0.
Yeah, so I guess for you, it's all about generating momentum then.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, no, Brian.
Success and a complication.
Yeah, I also got a success and a complication.
All right, so the good thing is, Rob, did you roll? You got 2 successes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the bad thing for you, Detective Monsieur, is your flashlight appears to have gotten soaked with some of the slimy stuff, and it flickers and goes out, but not before you notice on the wall some like claw marks going off into the distance. Detective Lohman, you also recognize this without a problem. The Fisher, you get a little splashback from when Detective Monsieur landed into muck, and so you got a little poopies on your jacket, and it kind of annoys you because this is fine leather from the finest leathiers of Albany.
Gonna take forever to get the smell out.
But you can all see what looks like these claw marks going down the sides of the sewer, going off into the distance. And every once in a while, these look like they were made with claws, not unlike the claws that you saw on the dead thing up in the alley. But every once in a while, you'll see what looks like a palm print of a normal person, and you will see that there's like a reddish stain in the palm, as well as every once in a while you will see a shoe, both male and female shoes, just kind of scattered along this walkway.
Any of these match with anybody that you saw earlier?
No,
Like
probably not. It's just they're just random handprints, not like fingerprint marks or anything like that.
I think he meant the shoes.
Oh, yes, they look like office people shoes who would work in downtown Albany.
Could be. Let's just keep on going.
Yep.
Yeah, follow the claw marks.
Yeah, so you keep following this down, and it just goes on, and there are twists and turns. You'll come to an intersection, and you'll poke around a little bit, and you'll still see like drag marks in the muck every once in a while. And you guys go for about an hour, but maybe a mile or so underground until you come to another ladder, and you notice that the manhole cover on the top of that ladder is opened up, and there's a light shining down, down into the sewer. Typically, manhole covers should be closed at all times.
Unsafe.
Is there any marks going past this one?
No, there appear to be no marks going past this one.
Well, I believe we found the end of our trail.
Hmm.
Kind of indicate for one of the others to go forward as I like hold the only good flashlight on the ladder.
Oh, good
Right.
idea.
Good thinking. The fisher will start climbing.
Okay. So you climb up and you poke your head out and you realize that you are on more of a rundown street. You recognize this pretty quickly because you know that your father has I'm sorry, not your father. You know that your uncle has some warehouses in this area. This is the warehouse district.
It's a warehouse, or it's a warehouse district. Are we in a warehouse?
Nope, you are not in a warehouse. You
Really,
are
we're
on a
outside?
sidewalk outside of the warehouse district. There is a kind of derelict looking, rather large warehouse in front of you.
Mhm.
It's got some busted out windows and whatnot there, but
What?
there are some nicer warehouses down the street. In fact, if you look down about 4 or 5 blocks, you can see the flashing neon lights of Arbogast Industries flashing.
Mhm. Was the light that we were seeing like a street lamp?
Yeah, it's the street lamp shining down.
I will. Does this messed up looking warehouse? Does it have a fence around it or anything like that?
It does, but it's pretty clear that this fence is not. It's been a while since people have done any maintenance to this place, and so the chain link fence has holes in it. There's a wooden fence that several of the planks have been knocked out of, so it would be very easy for anybody to get inside this building.
Okay. While I wait for them to climb up, I'll run over to the fence, like duck down a little, and then just try to listen for see if any sounds are coming out of the warehouse.
Okay, observation and insight.
I'll spend a momentum.
Okay.
0
Ooh.
successes.
You do not hear any noises in the night, except maybe some far off traffic. Maybe a lumbering truck, a block over is picking up supplies and driving on. This area seems fairly quiet.
Note to self: cut ear holes into this thing.
All right, detectives, you are now out of the sewers and you are standing there in front of what looks like a rundown warehouse. The fisher is standing over by a hole in the fence.
Finding anything?
Everything seems quiet. Too quiet.
Well, I guess we can see anything beyond that fence.
Yeah, why don't you, Brian, why don't you give me an observation and insight as well?
All right.
Hey,
one
one
success.
success. Yeah, in the light of the lamppost, you can see what looks like drag marks, and you would know as a detective of like two heels that have been drug into the dirt, leading into the warehouse.
Looks like something was dragged this way.
Yeah. All right. Guess we have a new trail.
Probable
Same trail.
cause. Chapter 2. What's in the warehouse? Right. So you guys approach the warehouse and you're standing outside. There doesn't appear to be any kind of locks or anything on this door.
All right.
Open it slowly.
The door creaks on its hinges, and dust kind of pours out, and something jumps out at you. It is
Ah.
it is a bird, a pigeon. It is in slow motion. Yeah. Everybody, give me a. What do we do when we're doing a scaredy check? A will plus a resilience check, please.
Mm.
To see if that little jump scare.
So what's the
If you have
difficulty on this?
D1.
I would like to use a momentum.
Okay. You have no resilience.
I have no resilience, and will is his worst attribute.
Oh man. Okay.
Two
All right,
successes.
Rodrigo, the pigeon doesn't scare you. I have a feeling that the fisher has stumbled across many a startled pigeon in his adventures.
Yeah.
Detective Mansour, again, you doesn't bother you at all, and Detective Loman, yeah, you're okay on this as well.
Okay.
Little shaken, but you're okay.
Like Detective Loman, blam! Like
Yeah. Pigeon for dinner.
all right. Once
That was the last carrier pigeon.
no. Once the door is open just enough, the fisher will like roll in, like he'll do like a little, like tuck his head into his chest and like do a little roll into like a crouch.
Yeah, sure. You do that into the entrance, and when you come to a stop, you look around, and it looks like there are 3 figures standing about halfway down the warehouse. They are motionless at the moment.
They look like humans.
They look like the same creatures that you saw in the alleyway.
And they're not moving.
They're not moving.
Are they like arranged in a
standing.
particular way, or they're just like
No,
standing
they're just
there?
kind of standing like in a cluster.
Okay.
Their backs are to you. Detectives?
Police.
When you say police, it kind of echoes through the warehouse, and at that instant, the 3 creatures all snap to attention, and they turn around and they start shuffling towards you, almost like in the Thriller dance.
I'm gonna have to have you all stop there.
They keep advancing.
They won't listen to you. These guys are undead.
Dun dun dun.
All right.
I'll pull out a weapon.
Okay.
And
What about you, Detective Loman? What are you doing?
Also pulling out the pistols.
Okay. Then I guess we are entering combat. Who would like to go first on your side?
Let Brian go first. He didn't even get to go last time.
Okay.
I warn you, I'm gonna have to open fire. Aim, give him a beat to stop, and then shoot.
Okay. D1.
Okay, if I get an aim, I get to buy a free D20, and
Okay.
my attack will get piercing. Because I got that sharpshooter thing, what Blisco has.
Feels good,
Okay.
doesn't it?
Yes. Rolling 2 successes.
Hey, very good. You get a momentum back, and you can attempt to do damage on these things.
3 damage.
And then you said you had an effect on this?
Piercing.
Okay. All right. So, yeah,
Just one.
your bullet hits one of them, and you can see it kind of stumbles backwards. And as it stumbles backwards into the light of one of the overhead warehouse lights, you recognize this guy as the man whose flyer you took, the missing persons flyer. This is this guy, but he looks like death warmed over. He looks like he's been dead for 3 months. Why don't you roll me a will plus resilience, D2 on this one?
All right. I think I'll go ahead and, well, let's see. I might take 2 dice. Yeah, I think so. I'll burn 3 momentum to get 2 dice.
Okay.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
4 successes.
4 successes. Wow. Okay, do some damage. Let's see. Yeah, so you succeed. Yeah, so you're back up to full momentum. Boy. All right. That is that creature's turn. Your guys' turn.
The Fisher will pull out a weird gun.
Okay.
That is
Can you
connected
describe
to
this
his
gun?
Yeah. So it's when you look at the assembly of like the trigger and the handle, it's like very much like a real gun, but then it has like a clear tube that comes out of it, and around the tube are installed these like metal ringlets.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ends in like something that looks kind of like a light bulb, but it doesn't have anything inside it, and it like comes to a point. There's like no hole in it for something to go out of.
Okay.
But it looks like
Is there any kind of marking to indicate what kind of weapon this would be?
Yeah, you can see in the handle when he pulls it out that it says X2 on it.
Okay, very cool. All right. You may do an attack.
Yeah, and then when he pulls it out, he says, "Beware, fiends, you face the super prototype X2." And we'll take a shot at like the closest critter.
Okay.
I'll take a momentum.
Okay.
3 successes.
Wow, holy crap. Okay. Deal some damage.
Okay. I will spend 4 momentum on this damage.
Okay.
So 10 damage coming in. This is vicious.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's piercing. I need to salvo for it to be vicious.
Even better. Very good. Yes. So describe what happens when you pull the trigger on the super prototype X2.
It starts to grow. It like momentarily glows with a let's say purplish light.
Okay.
And then basically a purple lightning bolt shoots out of it, out of like the very tip of it. It doesn't look so much like he aimed it right, so much as like, like anything in like a nearby cone would have probably been at least singed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't kick, but it like has like a huge like the gun itself glows extremely bright. And illuminated by that, you can see that he totally closes his eyes when he pulls the trigger.
Okay. Yeah, that the lightning arcs across the warehouse, striking that exact same person that Detective Mansour had just hit. and this guy just lights up like a Roman candle. His whole body starts to glow from the inside, and even though his skin is super thin and greasy, you can see what remains of his skeleton on the inside, and maybe something else before he is totally evaporated into a pile of dust. You have eliminated one of the creatures. The other two do not seem to react like, "Oh no, our friend," or anything like this. These mindless creatures continue to move forward. Um, Detective Lohman, one of them is going to do a mental attack on you, which is it's not a ranged attack. It's not one that you can block. So I'm just going to hit, and the sight of these things still moving is very scary to you, and you take 2 mental damage, pierce 1. Does
Ow.
that hurt you really bad?
I take 2.
All right. Yeah, these guys are pretty creepy. You can smell the stench of the grave and decay on these guys. So that is one of their remaining turns.
Courage is from Will, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. No.
So yeah, so you guys can go.
As that's me then.
Okay.
We're gonna focus fire on the one that just mentaled me.
Okay.
If I can tell which one that is.
Yeah, you can pretty much tell by the glowy eyes that kind of shine in your direction
Okay.
that this is the one you want to take aim at.
Yep. I will aim. I will do the focus fire, and so both guns at once.
Okay.
And I will spend a momentum
Okay.
to get 3 successes.
Very good. So now you have 5 momentum. You may roll some damage.
What did I calculate earlier? 8 is my base with that. 3,
Mhm.
2, 3. Yep, 8. I'll spend 1 momentum for an extra die.
Okay. You scream
And
anything as you pull the triggers?
get out of my head.
Okay. Holy
That's a
crap.
lot of effect.
Yeah, you just open up. You just open up on this creature with both of your guns just blazing, and as it continues to walk forward, each time that you shoot, you can it's being, struck, and it's being pushed back by your bullets, but the more you keep firing, the more bits and pieces of this thing fall off until there's almost nothing left. Just this riddled corpse stumbles and falls at your feet. It is dead again. There is one creature remaining. It gets close enough to you, the fisher, that it's going to do a swinging. It's going to reach out with its terrifying claws and attempt to rake them across your cute little mask and agility in fighting you.
I'll spend a momentum.
Okay.
2
Ooh.
successes and a complication.
2 successes and a complication. All right, so you succeed in uh, avoiding the creature's attack. Before you can respond on anything, though, whatever viscera remains of the one that has fallen down at everybody's feet, you slip on that and fall, and you are prone. Top of the round. There is one creature here.
Well, I'll see if I can dispatch it.
Okay.
I'll give another aim and shoot. Whoa,
Wow.
4 successes.
4 successes. Holy crap. You guys are up to 6 momentum.
Okay.
Use a little bit of
that. And let's see, damage. 3 with 3 pierce.
Yeah, 3 and 3 pierce. So yeah. Did you use extra dice for that? Did you use any momentum for extra damage on that?
No.
Okay.
Just
So that's
damage.
6 total. Yeah, you You shoot it up pretty good, but it continues to advance on the group of you. It utters a shrieking cry, and it is scary enough that Detective Monsieur, you're pretty sure that this attack is targeting you. It succeeds with its mental cries, and you take 3 mental stress, 1 piercing. Courage soaks up, anything else.
All right.
We'll do the same thing I did last time
All right.
because that seemed pretty effective.
Yeah, it did.
So yeah, aim, focus fire on the one guy, and blam for 3 successes.
Very good.
Yeah, 3
You get
successes.
You get 2 back on that, so you're at max momentum.
Let's drop us down to 6 again.
All right.
So that'll be 8 plus 2, 10 damage dice. There we go.
Wow.
For
Oh,
just
yeah,
11 straight damage.
Yeah, you just obliterate this thing, and it is dead. It is completely dead.
Kip up.
Okay. The Fisher, please make note that you have used one of your prototype X2 shots. There are 2 dead bodies before you.
Just kind of check them out.
Yeah, these are kind of like the ones you've seen before, varying states of decay. When you kind of inspect their heads, you also notice that their brains are missing.
Seems to be a bit of a pattern. Look around, see if I see any anything else around here, or anything that...
Yeah, so this, at one point, this must have been some kind of a meat storage warehouse, because obviously there's lots of blood on the floor and drains in the floor as well. But you also look to see on one end, up against a big wall, which seems to divide the warehouse into 2 parts. You look to see what looks like a very large walk-in freezer or cooler, and it appears to be running.
That seems to be running. Let's check it out.
Okay, is everybody going to walk over and check it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all walk over to the freezer, and you open it, and the light instantly comes on. This is an early fluorescent light, and it kind of flickers in this green light. And on all of the shelves that are in this thing, rows and rows of brains in jars. Everybody roll me a will plus resilience D2.
I hate it here
too.
I will use a momentum for this.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, that tracks.
1 success.
Okay.
2 successes.
2 successes for Rodrigo. Okay. So detectives, your minds are not prepared for the carnage that you see before you.
Nope.
And you take 1 mental damage each.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Deal yourselves, detectives.
Yeah.
This is the new war that we fight in the shadows. I'll go look at the brains.
Yeah, you look at the brains. These look like human brains, all wrinkly and pink. Although you do notice that a couple of them look like they have some kind of like a mold or fungus growing on them. But otherwise, they are brains suspended in jars in some kind of a yellowish fluid.
Are they labeled in any way?
No, they are not.
Just like a jar with like a big metal cap on top?
Yeah, well, yeah, big metal glass, like not a metal cap, like a glass, like the old glass formaldehyde
Yeah,
containers.
I gotcha.
It's like that, rubber seal and everything.
Okay.
Metal clasp lock, stress lock.
Okay. Well,
This probably explains the emptiness.
yes. But who's doing the extracting?
Lieutenant or Detective Mansour, if you would please give me would be like a recall skill.
Let's see.
Probably reason and something else, whatever
Yeah.
is relevant to.
Could be observation, I guess. Yeah, let's do well, let's see. Yeah, let's just do observation and the other one.
And reason.
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
observation and reason. D1.
Well, one success.
Okay. No, that's enough.
Maybe two if instincts or sight apply.
Yes, sight is part of this test. So yes, 2 successes, you get 1 momentum back. Even though you were startled by the appearance of all of these brains, you do a quick mental calculation and you notice that there happens to be just as many brains in these jars on these shelves in this freezer as there were missing people reports on the board at the police station, plus or minus a few.
Well, I mean, this does seem to line up with the number of reported missing, but yeah, our masked friend here does bring up a good point. Who did this?
At that moment, you hear what sounds like a piece of metal dropping out in the warehouse on the other side of the divided wall.
We're not alone.
Yeah, let's see who else is here.
Let's be sneaky about this.
Okay, everybody roll me a sneaky check.
Coordination, stealth, I'm assuming?
Yeah, coordination and stealth.
All right, could be worse.
Yeah, we'll do D1s. D1s for everybody, so.
Oh, no.
One success.
Okay. Brian,
I'll spend okay.
Brian, you're significantly sneaky.
I'll spend a momentum.
Okay. All right. And that should put you back up to 7 momentum now. The Fisher, you are also more than significantly stealthy, probably because of that very premium padding on your soles of your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Very soft but resilient rubber on those soles. And unfortunately, Detective Lohman, as you come out, there must be some dust or something in the air because you sneeze very loudly. Whatever sound, whatever made the sound of that metal clanking seems to have stopped, but it does appear to be on the other side of this double sliding warehouse door.
Stephen, with this pretty decent roll, can we say that the Fisher has disappeared from sight?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Like Detective Mansour just kind of put his back against the wall with the gun up. Sneeze happened.
Okay.
Kind of looking and saddling over to the
nobody is coming through the door, but things are eerily quiet right now.
I'll
think I'll nod. Yeah.
I was gonna say I will point both guns at the door and give Monsieur a nod.
Yep. Return the nod and put my own gun towards the door.
Are you going to pull it open or?
Yeah, I'll pull it open.
Okay. So you pull it open and the other side of the warehouse is as big as the area that you were just in. But the one thing that you notice instantly on the far side is something that is taking up the whole back half of this warehouse. It is the size, it looks like 2 pie tins that have been attached to one another, and somebody has put like a bowl on top of it. It's glowing, and it's got legs that are coming out from the bottom that look like landing legs on the floor, and there's some kind of slow running lights that blink all the way around the circumference of the two pie tins that have been attached to one another. This is what you would typically think of in a few years as a flying saucer.
Kind of looked dumbfounded for a second and probably call out, anyone there?
You don't hear anything in response.
I guess let's check it out.
Okay, so both detectives enter the space.
Yep.
Yeah, I think kind of circle it in the opposite direction at
Okay.
Loman heads and
Oh, so you guys are going to split?
yeah.
Okay. What about you, the Fisher? Are you doing anything, or are you hiding in the shadows still until such time?
Yeah, still hiding. Maybe the Fisher found another way into the room through the rafters.
Yeah, certainly. These spaces have like what are they, dormers? So there would be ways to let circulation flow from one part of the factory to the other, or the warehouse to the other. And so you're able to slip through one of those, and you see from, like what would be almost a second, almost third story high view, and you're looking down on, from the pulp magazines that you've read, this looks like a spacecraft from another planet. And it's lit up and described, as I said, and you notice that Loman and Monsieur walk in, and they walk towards it, and then they kind of split apart and start to move in opposite directions from one another.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on them after being like, jeez, flying saucer, let's go.
At that moment, a ramp lowers from underneath the craft, and you see two things coming from the darkness on the right side of the warehouse. And if you thought undead creatures were creepy, these things are downright horrifying. They look like praying mantises, but with big giant bat wings, and it looks like they're wearing gas masks over their faces with these big, like big eyes and lenses. And they are carrying, they've got the 6 legs that are walking to support their bodies. These things have to be almost 7 feet tall. And then they almost have like an additional 2 arms that are walking towards the ramp of the ship. Everybody give me a will plus resilience. D1. These look like some creatures that from beyond.
I'll spend a momentum.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Oh. All right.
So 2 momentum have spent. You got 2 momentum back.
Well, 3 momentum.
3 momentum back. So you're all up to full. Rodrigo, you had 3 successes as well?
I haven't rolled yet. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
Yep, 3 successes.
Yeah, you have 3 successes as well. So you guys are at max momentum.
Bugs.
Yeah, these are giant bugs, and they are creepy, horrific things. They've got like all across their skin where you would think it would be like a hardened carapace. You can kind of see that, but it seems to be dripping viscous like snot all over their bodies, and in patchy places on their bodies, it looks like some kind of a fungus that's growing. One of the creatures is carrying a brain in a jar as it's moving towards the ramp. The other one, though, must have been alerted to a sneeze because it sees you guys, and you hear it make these weird clicking, vibrating sounds. And both of the creatures turn, and they pull out guns, and they fire. One of them fires at you, Detective Loman. And they hit, and this beam of like orangish light whips out at you and strikes you square in the chest for 2 physical damage.
Ow.
Boom. That hurt.
Brawn would give physical or would give armor, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
And 10 would be 2.
10 is 2, yeah.
Yeah, 10 is 2, yeah.
Haha.
Yes.
Oof.
It points at you like it's telling you to get out. Mentally, you hear this as it clicks and buzzes and vibrates, this feeling in your head that says, get out.
Am I close enough to return fire?
You are close enough to return fire.
All right. Yeah, it seems reasonable. D2, D1.
These are going to be, let's see, maybe this will ramp up. Let's see what you guys do. Nah, let's do D1s. D1s on these guys.
Okay. 2, 4, 5 successes.
God dang it. I should have made it. I
I
said
mean-
D1, so D1.
I mean,
These are just,
yeah, make it a D3, and all those have a 1 in
Yeah.
front of them, right?
Yeah. So you
Like-
guys are back up to max momentum.
I'm gonna spend half of that. This thing
Okay.
is a freaky bug from.
Yeah, and it's got that hardened shell carapace.
So yeah, that'll be 12 damage dice, giving me
Okay.
8 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 effect, which is impact or intense.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Yeah, this thing is, you strike it so many times that the shell cracks, like steam is coming out of its body, and it falls down dead in a heap right down there. Good Lord. Yeah, it is dead. The other one seeing
shot.
Yeah, the other one seeing it also takes aim at you, Detective Lohman, and hits. And it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage.
Ow. Physical, right?
Yeah, physical.
So
And also you can hear something in your head from the buzzing and clipping, like, you've killed my friend, that kind of, or maybe friend is not the word, that's how it translates into your head, but hive companion seems to be more along the lines of what you hear, but you interpret it as friend. All right, that's 2 of
shot
them.
me first.
Yeah, that's true. It is your guys' turn.
Well, since my partner's been shot, I think I'm going to return fire while aiming.
Okay.
And
Holy crap. 4 successes. You guys are back up to... Yeah, you guys... 4 successes, right? Yeah?
well, handguns, right? So
yeah.
I got to focus.
5 successes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are up to max momentum, so I'll let you use one of those extras as a bonus damage die if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that. So
Okay.
So 7 with 2 pierce.
Okay. This one, the bullets at the angle that you're at do impact a little bit, but several of them ricochet off.
Dang.
It doesn't appear to have taken much damage. It's injured, but it hasn't taken much damage. No, actually, it has taken quite a bit of damage. Sorry, I had to relook at their stress. Yeah, these guys have taken a bit of damage here. You two on the floor of the warehouse, you hear something coming from inside the saucer, and 2 more creatures emerge.
So you said this used to be like a meat packing warehouse.
Uh-huh.
So the fisher will find a leftover like hook.
Yeah,
like one of those on a pulley.
Yeah.
And we'll jump on it and slide down it and forward. And this time he's wearing a big glove that has a silver disc in the palm.
Oh, okay.
And he yells, "Invaders, you face the Fishers scream!" And
it sounds like you want to use a fortune for this.
Oh, sure. I'll spend a fortune.
Okay.
And I will activate the Fisher Scream, which is a force plate.
Okay.
which I think is just like a regular range attack, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has to be close quarters, so I get right up. We'll say that I'm like on the opposite side, so I'll get right up on the guys that just came out.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think I'd only target one of them.
Yep.
So yeah, is that fortune to have this happen at all, or
No, that's a fortune to get 2 dice on this.
okay?
2 successes, and then
Okay.
you roll one. What is it? 1 die to
Yep.
see if you have any more.
Yep. So let me.
I mean, this is one of those big bravado, super high action moments that fortune is exactly when you want to spend.
Yeah.
Spin that.
Do that.
Hey, 1
So
success.
1 additional success.
Yeah, so you got 3 success. You can also use that as a bonus damage die if you want, since you're at max momentum.
Yeah, let's throw those 3 in and then 2 more, so 5 total.
Okay.
Does this benefit from my insight bonus to damage?
Handguns, right? Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. Insight damage. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is like literally a gun built into a hand, but I don't think it counts as a handgun.
What else would?
I guess so. Yeah. So anyway, that's 5, and then 1 more for 6, and then how much did I say I was putting on? 5.
Yep. 5. Mm-hmm.
So I'll be 11 total. Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's 6 damage, and each of the effects is a stun, which look up what stun does. Oh, here we go. Stun, the attack or hazard leaves the target momentary unable to act if a number of effects or roll that equals or exceeds the target's resilience skill. Oh no, sorry.
Oh yeah. No, go ahead. Keep going.
The target may not take any actions in their next turn. So yeah, if I get
Okay.
more effects than their resilience.
Yeah, that's okay because the one coming down the ramp. Describe what happens when you shoot this this handgun, this palm bray thing.
Yeah, so it makes a huge noise, like a huge noise, and basically all register. Like it's like extremely high pitched and also like a low, like at the
Oh
same
yeah, sure.
time.
Uh-huh.
It is momentary, but it's like a huge blast, and like basically as he's coming down with the hook, he does it right in the face of one of the mantises, but also the blast from it actually knocks him back. So he's like kind of on his way back to the ceiling,
Oh,
just
nice.
on the
Okay.
hook.
Okay. Yeah, the shockwave that this thing, your weapon emanates is so intense. You were so close to this creature that its head just ruptures and it falls down to the floor, the ramp of the ship. It's dead. The other one looks down, momentarily shocked as it pulls out its gun, but you also hear its some shrill sound coming out of its mouth. And then from inside the ship, you hear some klaxon sounds. Rah, rah, rah. This one very quickly sees you and it attempts to shoot at you, the Fisher,
Okay.
and it misses. It is so startled that its hive companion has fallen that it shoots wide, and a big chunk of the rafter support comes crashing down right behind you, uh, Detective Lohman.
I
There's one on the ramp that has not taken any damage, and one with a brain in a jar that looks pretty heavily wounded that was walking towards the ramp before it turned to fire at you.
Well, I'll see if I can finish off that one that I wounded.
Okay.
So I will. And I'll just shoot with the 3 dice with my sharpshooter with the aim.
Hey,
And
2 successes.
2 successes.
Get a momentum.
And 5 with 4 pierce.
Yeah, you are able to finish this one off. The jar lands on the ground and comes rolling towards your feet. And when it stops, the brain is just kind of sloshing around inside the fluid inside the jar. The one that is still on the ramp, it sees that and it attempts to fire at you, Detective Monsieur, and it misses.
Ugh.
This guy's a bad shot.
Good.
I would like to attempt to take him out.
Okay.
Do the focus fire roll that seems to have been so
All
effective
right.
a couple of times.
Okay.
Aim in, bablam.
Holy crap. All right.
Only 3 successes.
You're back up to max momentum.
Yeah, I did use a momentum for that.
Oh, okay.
But
You're still back up to
back
max
up to
momentum.
max momentum. Okay, we'll have it again.
Okay.
I get 12 damage dice and
Okay. Yeah, this one also goes down. This one also goes down from the hail of bullets that you shoot at it. Do you do or say anything?
get off my partner.
Okay.
Well, no, was he the one? Yeah, he just fired at Monsieur. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Lay off my
and
partner,
then
something along those lines.
and it just riddles it with bullets again. It just falls to the ground in a heap. But as it falls to the ground, you hear kind of like a thudding, boom, 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 and it's like 6 of them in a row, boom, 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 boom. And now at the top of the ramp, kicking the 2 bodies out of the way, is a much larger creature. This one has a rifle in its hands, and it looks more heavily fortified than the others. It looks to be carrying a bigger, more dangerous weapon, and it says something in its voice that you can all hear, some kind of weird translation of "Prepare for takeoff. We must leave immediately with the resources that we have." And it sees you shooting Detective Lohman, and it fires at you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And it misses, but this rifle thing that it's holding, the orange beam that shoots out is much more intense than the handguns that the other 2 creatures were using. The beam shoots across, just narrowly missing you, and it hits a support beam on the other end of the warehouse, and that thing just disintegrates.
Is that the only one left?
That looks to be the only one left, but this one is bigger and looks to be tougher.
Okay. The Fisher will jump off the hook. He's off the hook. And do a superhero landing, and then hold up his palm and be like, "Say goodbye, big man." And we'll cross that off of his catchphrase, potential catchphrase notebook, and then try to use the force plate to blast this critter.
Okay.
I'll spend a momentum.
So this will be a D2 for this creature.
Yeah. Okay. 2 successes.
Okay, very good.
And how much momentum do we have? 3?
You have 3 momentum.
Okay. In that case, I won't add any more damage.
Okay.
So this is 5 plus the insight. 5 damage and 1 stun. So I doubt that his
Yeah, no, it's his carapace seems to absorb all of the shockwave that you have sent its way. It laughs at you.
Uh-oh.
Now we are at the top of the round. It levels its rifle at you, but it's holding its action in case somebody else wants to go first.
Okay.
I'm very polite.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all happening simultaneously.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And also just remember that Rodrigo did essentially 6 damage and it had no effect on the creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to aim for what seems to be a gap in his carapace and shoot.
Okay.
And
D2.
I'm going to burn my fortune or one of
Okay,
them.
very good.
And
You got 2 successes automatically.
let's see. And 2 more. Well, actually, 3
Nice.
more.
3 more successes. Okay. So now you're up to 6 momentum.
Spend a little.
Yeah, spend a little of that momentum.
Okay, I'll say 2 of it.
Okay.
I should have salvoed, but 7 with 1, 2, 3, 4 Pierce.
Oh yeah. You hit this thing pretty good. You did find in one of the more spongy, fungy parts of its arm, right like where an armpit might be if insects have armpits. You shoot it pretty good, and just this spurt of greenish, yellowish fluid comes squirting out as the creature's one arm goes dead. Fortunately, it's still got 3 more arms to shoot at you. That was yeah, okay. Yes. So it has taken an injury, but it is then able to still pull the trigger and attempt to shoot at the fisher. And it misses again. Another beam of energy comes out from this rifle and it hits the wall opposite of where you are all standing, and half the wall just disintegrates.
This guy's serious.
I get that.
I can. Can I reload while we're in a fight? Or does that have to happen like in between?
That will use your turn
Okay.
to reload.
So in that case, let me go last because that's what I'm doing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I will spend a momentum to. I will salvo, aim, spend a momentum to do an attack with the focus fire.
Okay.
That'll be 4 successes.
Wow. Okay. So you're now up to 5 momentum.
I will spend 1 of that for an extra die.
Okay.
Crow. 6 plus 2 effect, so that's 8 plus 2 intense.
Okay. Yeah, you do a little bit of damage to this thing. Not much. But it does take a little bit of damage. It looks to be about halfway through its life force, if such a thing exists.
Something's better than nothing.
Yep. The droning from inside the ship starts to grow louder, and the lights around the perimeter of the ship start to spin faster and faster. The fisher, you need to reload a weapon. How does that work?
So after the fisher dodges the blast from the lead mantisoid or whatever, like there's some smoke coming out of his utility belt.
Mm-hmm.
And he will kind of reaches down, gets like a little burn, is like and then reaches down kind of in a different direction and pops out what is clearly what clearly used to be a custom made battery, but is now basically charcoal.
Okay.
And he loads another one into that spot in the belt. And also he's gonna basically pull the plug out of his gauntlet and put it into the gun. So basically these two use the same cable and pack.
Okay, very cool.
So
all right.
He's also going to switch to the Super Prototype X2.
All right. The whirring of the spaceship grows louder as we hit the top of the round. The creature is not going to waste any more time, and he's going to fire at you, Detective Monsieur. And he hits. Ooh, this is not good. Okay, I'm going to have to do 2 sets of rolls here because I do not have enough dice. 1,
Wow,
2,
that sounds bad.
3, 4. 5. Yeah, no, it is bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first part. Hold on. Okay, so that's 4. 5, 6 physical damage. And yeah, there's no effects or anything. So just 6 physical damage straight up. This orange beam of light shoots out and arcs across the warehouse until it finds its target on you, Detective Monsoor. This is a burning, searing heat, almost as if you were being struck by molten iron. Are you still alive?
Thankfully, I got 2 armor, so I'll only take 4 of that and therefore avoid an injury.
Yeah, very good, very good. This thing burns. Your coat, your trench coat is on fire. It is anybody's turn.
Ow.
I'll go.
Okay.
See if I can't generate us some momentum.
All right.
Make the same attack. So I'll
Okay.
spend a momentum. And
2
only
successes. Yep. Go ahead and do some damage.
8 with 4 impact.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
Oh yeah, this thing is limping pretty hard as it screams something out in its language as it starts to come down the ramp, and now it's just firing wildly in your all's general direction. It's pretty clear that it must be blinded in the eye from bullets.
One finish this thing off.
Yeah, I'll get that. So, after I get hit with a darn space ray and stagger back, yelling in pain, I kind of straighten myself up, clutching my wound, my shoulder, and aim a bit, and then blast away myself back towards the bug.
Okay.
And I got 2 momentum, so yeah, I'll just go with the base. Well, I get the 1 free die for aiming.
Okay.
And 3
Nice.
success. Oh, 4 technically. 4 successes.
4 successes, so you get 2 momentum back.
Yeah, I meant to do salvo.
Yeah,
So 4 with the pierce 2.
Yeah, this is not enough to do any damage to it.
Okay.
The Fisher. Finishing move, please.
Fisher points prototype X2 at the saucer bug, and we'll say, "See you later, Meteor Man," and also we'll mentally cross that one out. Spend a momentum.
Okay.
3 successes.
Wow, 3 successes, so you get 1 back. You
Okay.
got 4 momentum.
All right. Let's blow it all on damage.
All right, you have 0 momentum left.
Okay,
The
so
gate of the saucer rises and closes as the whine and the pitch starts to get even louder, and you start to see the spaceship start to hover a little bit, but the creature is still standing there.
So that's 5 base damage plus 1 more, 6 plus 4 more. Is that how much we have?
Yeah.
So that's 10 total.
Okay.
And this is piercing.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah.
With 2 piercing. So 7
Yeah.
with 2 piercing.
Yeah, it just like you've seen before, this creature lights up. It starts to smoke and fry until just in super slow motion, the whole thing explodes, sending bug guts everywhere across the warehouse. At the same time, the legs retract inside the spaceship. It rises up and it crashes through the roof of the warehouse and is going up into the sky. There's an exit right in front of all of you.
Yeah, just run out, right?
Yeah. You run out into the clear evening, and you stare up at this spaceship. That's the only word that comes to your mind. As it flies and hovers over the warehouse district, it continues to rise up, up, up into the air until it's just a series of blinking lights, and then it takes off to the south east, heading towards New Jersey and into the darkness.
I don't know that anyone's going to believe us and all this.
Well, you should be able to get those brains. So at least you have some evidence.
I guess so.
You should call your home office first, though, before you call these the locals.
Local. All right, I suppose. Do we happen to have like a camera with us?
I don't think there's a camera in any of your inventories, is there?
No, I don't believe so.
Analytical tools?
That'd be more like magnifying glass, tape, fingerprint dust.
All right.
So no camera.
Not anything to take pictures of a crime scene? Like
no pictures, unfortunately.
Well, what about burglars?
No, that's not going to help you out either.
My equipment only says first aid kit, and then the weapons.
No.
So, yeah, I guess let's call this in.
Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure enacting justice with you, but the Fisher must away.
Okay.
Just turn around, take off running, and start climbing up a fire escape. But whenever you hear the Fisher's call, just know that justice is nearby.
Whatever you say. Keep your nose clean, all right?
Okay.
Okay, Fisher, after you exit the building, where do you go?
Climb up a fire escape to a building, run for a few rooftops, then kind of stop to take a break.
Okay. You hear a little crackle in your headpiece.
Oh. Hello?
Mr. Arbogast, is everything okay?
Yeah, Higgins, everything's fine. Higgins, everything's fine.
Shall I drive around to pick you up, sir?
Yeah, it looks like I'm outside of the old hardware store.
Ah, excellent. I'll be there soon.
All right. Just climb down, take off the mask, and maybe had a coat stashed somewhere.
Yeah, you have coats stashed all over the city.
Yeah. Fix my hair.
All right, police officers, what do you do? Detectives.
I think I'd have to discuss with my partner here. Are we going to tell them the whole story, or it's not going to be just fruitless?
Are there insect bodies?
Man, they have all disintegrated. Nothing.
Of course. Of course.
Did the UFO crash through the ceiling?
Yes, it did.
All right. Trailed the suspect. Found him here. Firefight with insane weaponry.
But I guess.
Okay.
Probably leave out the vigilante.
Yeah.
At least on the local report.
Okay. Cut to montage of Albany newspaper spinning into view. Albany's finest solve cannibal case. And then there goes on to tell a story of how the Albany police force have cracked the case of the missing persons. Turns out a crazed cannibal cult from the Catskills had come into the city and were terrorizing and feasting upon the innocent citizens. The deputy police deputy police chief Doug, Deputy Doug, quoted in saying, "This is why we need more military weapons in our police force. And by goodness, I'll make sure the government gives us the finest weapons out there." Kudos go to, I don't know if kudos was a word, but it is at the time. Kudos goes to my brave police officers. We could use more fine citizens like the police force of Albany to solve and stop crime. And then down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little side story about woman claims fuzzy bear saves her life. And then on like page 12 or something like that, there's a little story that says deputy or acting chief deputy Doug welcomes Arkham detectives to the city to showcase their fine skills in hopes that backwater towns like Arkham can learn something from the
experience.
The experiences. Yeah. So that's the first newspaper we see. Second newspaper spins up into the page, and it's like Arkham heroes return once again. Fight off alien menace? ? And it's like the weekly world news of all stories about Arkham police casually going to Albany to help out their ailing police force, and they find brainless zombies and aliens infesting the city and fight them off. The police of Arkham gave no comment on the story. The end. ? Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2025 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.